AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Murray.
Murray, present.
Musa. And a Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. And oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Richard Anderson is an LSU Tiger.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Lamar Brown is not.
Hump day.
Yeah, anyway.
It's hump day.
Signing day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tigers doing work.
Hump day.
Still work to do.
It's hump day.
Lake Baker.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Could be the Tulane coach.
Hump day.
Could be the Memphis coach.
It's hump day.
Could be the LSU defensive coordinator.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We don't know.
Hump day.
We'll find out
It's hump day.
after the break.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Not really.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell in 12 minutes from
It's
right
hump day.
now.
It's hump day.
Oh, man.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Those Ole Miss people.
Hump day.
It's going to be fun watching them be so bad next year.
It's hump day.
They're going to be bad next year.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And I'm going to laugh heartily at them.
Hump day.
Saints are going to play a game on Sunday
It's hump day.
because the schedule says they have to.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's get rolling here. We got to get to Russ in about 11 minutes, and we'll talk about the SEC championship game this weekend with Bama and Georgia, rematch from a game in Athens earlier this year where Kirby went temporarily insane and passed on an opportunity to tie the game late in the fourth quarter. But digress. We'll see how that one goes this weekend in the ATL. We'll talk some Heisman stuff with Russ as well, who's a Heisman voter. That's all coming up here in a smidge. Okay. Quick update on National Signing Day. So LSU went into the day with 15 commits. During the day, they flipped Corey Barber. So Corey Barber, wide receiver who had been committed to Ole Miss, flipped and signed with LSU. He's out of Pinson, Alabama, a 4-star. The 2 prospects a day ago that joined LSU's class, the 3 prospects a day ago that joined LSU's class all signed. Braden Allen, the wide receiver out of Lafayette Christian, who was an Oklahoma commit. J.C. Anderson, the 4-star tight end out of Illinois, that was an Ole Miss commit, is now officially a Tiger. And Ryan Miret, the offensive lineman out of Miami, is now an LSU signee as well. The big-time prospects that were a little bit on the fence. For several weeks, remember, Shea Dixon had been telling us that Bryson Martinez, the big offensive lineman out of East Ascension and Gonzales, Martinez passed on the overtures from Texas, stuck with his commitment, signed with LSU. As a matter of fact, he was the second player to sign this morning behind Jabari Mack out of Destrehan. So that's really significant. I think I relayed this to you before, but Bryson Martinez, Lamar Brown, and Richard Anderson all did high school NIL deals this summer with Duplessis Builders, a great sponsor on our show. Derek Duplessis, awesome dude, LSU alum, all that stuff. And one of the things that stood out to me about the convo that I had with Bryson, we did some interviews, so we did a fun video where we did a cold plunge at the Duplessis office, the showroom there on Airline in Prairieville. But one of the things that stood out to me about Bryson when we talked about why he picked LSU, over and again, he kept referencing the opportunity to be close to home and close to his mom. And that doesn't change ever. There's a lot of things that can change. Coaches can change, head coach, position coach, all that sort of stuff. But if your mom lives in Gonzales and you want to just play where your mom can see you play and be right there down the road, I mean, that never changes. And I'd be curious to know from Bryson Martinez's perspective if that's why ultimately he stuck with his decision to sign with LSU. All the conversation about your Frank Wilson is certainly that impacted your Richard Anderson, who did sign with LSU today. It's impacted other players as well. But remember, Frank is the New Orleans area recruiter. Aiden Hall, four-star safety out of Edna Carr, teammate of Richard Anderson's. Aiden Hall signed with LSU today. There was sort of a question of would Aiden Hall stick with his commitment, given the uncertainty around Coach Frank. So I think all things considered, they cleared a good many of their hurdles. Now, you can go check out the signing day tracker at louisianasports.net. It's right at the top of the homepage. And again, louisianasports.net is always free. Everything's free. There's no paywalls, no article limits, none of that stuff. So it's all free. So you can see that signing day tracker. And so we have it broken down. Players that are committed but have not yet signed, players that have signed, and then players that were committed and flipped. Nobody's flipped today, which is the good news. And we're still waiting on official word from Landon Duckworth, the quarterback who has been committed he's out of Alabama, but he has been committed to South Carolina. Took a visit to LSU for the Louisiana Tech game. LSU was pushing hard to flip him. Today, all the recruiting pundits predicted a flip to LSU. Steve Wiltfong did it first, and everyone else followed suit. So we are anticipating that Landon Duckworth will flip to LSU. We just have not heard that word officially from Duckworth, and LSU has not processed his paperwork yet. So if that happens while we're on the air, we'll pass it along to you. So as of right now, there are 5 prospects that we're still waiting on to sign. Lamar Brown out of U-High, the number 1 player in the country, has not yet signed. But, I mean, literally as I was coming on air today, I took a phone call from someone, let's say, very familiar with this process, and they're confident that Lamar will sign before this early signing period ends on Friday. Deuce Gerald's, the defensive lineman out of Georgia. Remember, he was maybe at one point a silent Oregon commit, but ultimately picked LSU publicly over Oregon. He will not sign today, and there was a signing ceremony planned. I mean, we got the media alert that there was a signing ceremony planned for Deuce Gerald's at his high school gym. He's not signing today. It is expected also that he will sign by Friday. Bryson Cooley, the offensive lineman out of Laurel, Mississippi. Billy Embody, our buddy from On3, reports that he'll sign on Friday. It'll be LSU, Ole Miss, or Alabama. He's been committed to LSU, but thought was he might flip to Ole Miss. Well, Ole Miss's coach is now the LSU coach, so does he stick with his LSU commit? We'll see. And then the other two are Trenton Henderson, one of the top edge prospects in the country out of Pensacola, and then Dylan Purter, the safety out of Alabama. Those two, there's no word why they wouldn't sign today, but they haven't yet, so we're still waiting on that. So Tigers still with a little bit of work to do in this early signing period with 5 commits out there still yet to send in their paperwork. If any of them pop before we get off the air, we'll certainly share that with you. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Evamore, E-V-A-M-O-R, Evamore.com, Evamore.com. Drink Evamore, a healthier form of hydration. It is Evamore Natural Artesian Water. It is Evamore. It is a Louisiana product. It is Evamore, a Louisiana product with national distribution. Delicious, crisp, clean-tasting Evamore. You can get it at great local retailers. I drink it every single day. Get the 20-ounce, the 32-ounce, the 64-ounce bottles, whichever you'd prefer. Pick it up at great local retailers, or if you can't find it, ask for it at your favorite retailers. You can always order Evermore online at EVAMOR. Evermore.com, Evermore.com. And thanks to everybody who always sends me photos of your Evermore. Either you tweet them to me, you DM them to me, you text them to me. I love screenshotting those and sending them to Shane and the gang over at Evermore. They love to see it. So thanks to everyone who's given Evermore a try and is converted. EVAMOR, Evermore.com. All right, this is after further review. I intended to get to this up about Keith Carter here, but I wanted to get that signing day update for a lot of people, driving home, just getting off of work. Wanted to kind of catch up on everything. The one thing, though, from Keith Carter before we break and get to Russ that I thought was interesting, we talked about it yesterday, was the decision to let Charlie Weis return to coach the college football playoff, because that makes Keith Carter a hypocrite. Said Lane Kiffin couldn't be the coach of the LSU Tigers and coach Ole Miss, but they're letting Charlie Weis do it. Here's why.
Well, first, let me say this. Charlie Weis is a really, really good person. And Charlie is a really, really good offensive play caller. So we had been talking to Charlie about coming back and calling the plays. Charlie was committed to that from the very first moment. Honestly, I think Charlie was put in a little bit of a tough spot with some of the way, he was asked to go to Baton Rouge and those type of things. But, man, I could not be more fired up about having Charlie Weis back here. We were in constant communication, not only with Charlie, but with his representation. He was telling us from the very get-go that he was going to come back and call the plays, and he was not going to leave this team on this playoff run. So a lot of credit to him for the way he's doing this. And, man, I can't wait to get him back here. And the guys feel the same way.
He starts by saying he's a really good person. Shot. And no mention whatsoever of the fact that you said, sir, that Lane Kiffin couldn't be the head coach at LSU and coach Ole Miss in the playoff. So why is it different for Charlie Weis, who is contractually the offensive coordinator at LSU, yet he's going to coach Ole Miss in the playoff? Hypocrites always get exposed. And Keith Carter is weak. He sounds like a nice guy and probably a very smart guy. But he is weak as a leader. At any point during this process, he could have held Lane Kiffin's feet to the fire, could have made a decision, should have made the decision the Friday before the Egg Bowl. Instead, he put out that weak statement saying Lane Kiffin would announce his plans after the Egg Bowl. Why? Because you wanted Lane Kiffin to coach the Egg Bowl so you have a better chance of winning it. I mean, this rivalry hasn't mattered in a long time, at least not to LSU people. I mean, if you're old enough to remember Billy Cannon's run, you might care, or Archie Who. I'm not. Ole Miss hasn't been relevant in 6 decades. But boy, did this just add a new layer of intrigue. That will be fascinating theater. And I am really going to enjoy watching Ole Miss stink next year, because trust me, they will stink next year. All right, it's after further review. Let's grab a quick break. Russ is next. AFR.
After further review.
You checked out Glow Resources yet? You've heard me talk about Glow Resources for years now. And I don't want that just to be background. I want this to be in the forefront of your mind. If you're a business owner, if you're an HR manager, a hiring manager, an operations manager, if you're the person in your business, maybe you have a business that's 10 people, that's 100 people, 1,000 people, whatever your business size is, if you're the person in your business responsible for finding the right people and you're looking for permanent solutions, I'm not talking about temp staffing. That's not what Glow does. They help you find permanent employee solutions. So if you're trying to find the right person for that skilled blue-collar labor job, welders, pipe fitters, crane operators, if you're trying to find someone for an office job, they have their professional placement division, from office assistants to C-level management and everything in between. You're looking for that permanent solution that's going to help make your business more efficient, more profitable, you need Glow Resources. GlowResources.com.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires.
Russ!
Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
It's football! Rusty, come on up here. Absolutely, I thought that was going to happen because it's state. It's supposed to happen.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
How are things out there at DBU?
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
The only way you can point up is up.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
Just like Troy.
Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Put your foot on his throat and choke him out.
Take it, Russ.
Why did you say the only way you can point up is up? I don't remember why you said that.
I was in the middle of something and I couldn't get it out, and I was like, "It's point up."
I just don't remember the context of that conversation. Anyway, how are you?
Kicking tires, lighting fires, baby.
A guy who loves all of his children the same, right? No reason you're any happier today than normal, right?
I love all my children the same, although I may
Erroneous.
have popped a cork on Sunday. Possibly.
Okay, so why are you then excited, bullish, happy, whatever adjective you want to use about the Lane Kiffin news?
Well, I mean, for a number of reasons. First of all, he's the best coach out there. I would argue for the modern era that we're playing. I've seen a lot of people worried about recruiting. You hired this guy for this modern era where the portal is as important, if not more important, than recruiting high school kids, which he's going to just leave him alone. Everybody leave him alone. He knows what he's doing. Just step away and let him do it the way he wants to do it. So, you know, and then as a guy who covers college football, when LSU is good, there are some teams when they're good, we all eat steak, which is to say those of us who do this, Texas, Alabama, USC, Notre Dame, LSU, Georgia, when those schools are doing well, we all do well too. So, you know, I like seeing LSU with a good coach, and I think this is the only one I wanted for LSU.
How big of a step back do you think Ole Miss takes losing Lane Kiffin?
In general, a huge step back. Hiring Pete, who is a great guy and a great defensive coordinator, and you know,
is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, everybody that I've spoken to in that space, I think but I mean, a head coach, he hadn't really been on the top lists of any head coaches I had seen for any major program. No one was looking for him. That's not to say he couldn't be a good head coach. And it's not to say that, you know, we've talked about LSU, where LSU is today versus where LSU was, say, in the 1990s. Today, LSU doesn't have to take a flyer on some 45-year-old coach from Michigan, you know? You don't have to go up and grab Sparty's coach and bring him down here. Ole Miss does. Ole Miss has to take a chance on some guy out at, some second grade Florida State school and see whether or not he can become what everyone, envisioned him being. But for the last 6 years, there's not a better coach in college football, from my opinion, than Lane Kiffin, and now he's LSU's coach.
I've said undeniably he's a brilliant offensive mind. I do think there is a fair question to be asked about Lane if he can be a national championship caliber head coach. Because, Russ, a year ago, he had the team to do that, right? I mean, it was the most talented team in Ole Miss history a year ago. They set a record for draft picks and all that sort of stuff. And they inexplicably lost 3 games they had no business losing. I wonder maybe where you fall on Lane and what he still has to prove as a head coach. Not as an offensive mind, which is undeniable, but as a head coach.
It's Ole Miss.
Or Ole Miss?
So, Ole Miss hasn't, well, I did that on purpose. Ole Miss hasn't been relevant in 60 years. 60 years. He made them relevant for the first time in 60 years. He barely coached at USC, and he coached for 1 year at Tennessee. How many chances did he have to go as a head coach to the national championship game.
He was the head coach of USC. He's the head coach of Tennessee. I mean, you have resources there to do it. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, well, it was only 1 year at Tennessee. And remember what he was coming in and replacing, right? Remember where Tennessee was when he got there.
It was the end of Fulmer. Look, in 2007, they were in the SEC championship game. 2008, they took a step back, fired Fulmer, and then brought Kiffin in 2009. So they weren't that far removed from relevance at that point.
Well, I thought, if you remember back that long, that Tennessee had pretty much fallen off a cliff in terms of the people that they had in the roster, in the locker room, and it was a rebuilding year. I think he only went 7-6 that year, right? And everybody was pleased.
They did. It was 7-6.
So it's not like he really had a chance to win a national championship that year. And you could argue at USC that he wasn't successful there. And I think the Lane Kiffin you see today, first of all, he's not the Lane Kiffin that was at USC, both professionally, and I think he would probably say personally. He's matured much more since then. And to be honest, I think LSU right now is in a better position than USC was then. So I think he's going to accomplish great things with the Tigers.
You're right. The thing that a lot of people do omit about his time at SC is when he went there was post Pete Carroll when all the sanctions came down. So he
Correct.
had a tough time there as well. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm having the conversation. Obviously, it's an outstanding hire. It's the guy that everybody would have wanted.
You're right, though. I mean, he hasn't won it yet.
Anything from this past weekend that really stood out to you in the conference?
You mean in terms of the games?
Yeah, the games, yeah.
I expected A&M to play a little bit better. I didn't expect Texas to be able to run the ball. I mean, Wisner had how much? 155 yards against A&M's defense rushing. So I was a little bit surprised with that. I was surprised with how well Auburn played in the Iron Bowl. I was exceptionally surprised by Kalen DeBoer going for it on fourth down.
Oh, God.
Which, I mean, I watch a lot of football, folks. I mean, I watch so much football that before, in the old days, I used to have a network of people that would record their local SEC games on their local channel and send me FedEx me the VHS tapes. And I used to watch them during the week. That's how much football I watch. And when he went for that tied on fourth down on, what was it, the 4-yard line or whatever, I nearly fell out of my chair, which made me think this guy's going to go coach somewhere else. I mean, I was shocked that he did that. I mean, it was almost like a guy who's already been fired and he's got nothing to lose. It was such a weird, people say it was a gutsy call. To me, it was a crazy call.
Yeah,
it's not the call you make.
Yeah, take the lead, man. What do you do?
You take the lead. So I don't know. Maybe the reason why Penn Shame is not very worried right now is that maybe DeBoer's going up there.
You think
I know he denied it.
You think there's a realistic path for that to happen at this point?
I don't know, man. I'm busy actually paying attention to real things. Yeah. But, if I was a conspiracy nut and wanted to, get conspiracy nuts excited, I would say, yeah, I think there's, I don't think DeBoer is happy. Did you see him after that game? Did you see how exhausted he was? He was near tears, I don't think he's as happy down in Tuscaloosa as people are making out.
Well, I would love to see them lose to Georgia and then him leave. Oh my God. What an epic Bama is burning that would be the next day. I just can't even. Please God, let that happen. Russ Mitchell's with us, College Football News. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB, at Russ Mitchell CFB, if you want to give him a follow. Russ is also a Heisman voter. Hey, we posted this story up at LouisianaSports.net. I just got some new odds into my inbox, and Diego Pavia This is according to sportsbetting.ag. Diego Pavia is the new betting favorite for the Heisman Trophy. What'd you say about that, Mr. Heisman voter?
You know, it's interesting. I would have voted already. I always vote on the Monday after the season ends, which you and I always debate about. You're wrong, but we debate about it every year. This is the first year that I can remember that they're not allowing that. You can't vote. You only get 48 hours to vote now for some reason. And it starts on Friday and ends on Sunday. I don't know what that means, but I'm just sharing that. I don't know, dude. There's so many guys. Last year was one of the closest votes in the history of the Heisman between Gentry and Hunter. I think there's really nobody that I like for the Heisman this year. I mean, Mendoza, people had until I heard you. Well, look, first of all, it's not the most valuable player award. That everyone says it's the most valuable player for his team, or it's not. It's the annually awarded annually to the most outstanding player in college football whose performance best exhibits the pursuit of excellence and integrity. It's not who's the most valuable to his team. That would be an MVP. So if I look at who had the most outstanding player in college football, Mendoza, the quarterback for Indiana, outside of the Oregon game, they have faced almost no top 20 defenses. Julian Sayin is the only one in the group, the Ohio State guy, who's got the top offensive line in the country, one of the best wide receiving cores, and the best defense. So he has way too much help. Pavia's got no big win, and his big statistical performances here at the end of the year were against the pass defenses for Kentucky and Tennessee. And Jeremiah Love, you know, it's really hard for a running back to win if you don't rush for like 1,800 yards. He only rushed for 1,300. I might pick someone who's off the list.
Who would you pick? Who would be in the mix?
Have you? And again, I'm not saying who I'm picking. I'll keep thinking about it. But, you know, Trinidad Chambliss, if he had an Ohio State logo or a Texas logo on his jersey, or an LSU logo, by the way, he'd be a top 3 guaranteed New York pick. He has more passing yards than Julian Sayin. He's got more touchdowns than Mendoza. He's got a better TD to interception ratio than Reed. He's got a higher quarterback rating than Pavia. 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. Plus he rushed for 500,000. And if they had played him in those, you know, mop-up games early against Georgia State and Kentucky, he'd have 4,000 yards. I don't know, man. He's not even in the top 10, which surprises the heck out of me.
He's going to look so good in purple and gold next year.
I love all my children the same.
Yeah, he only had 6 passing attempts against Georgia State in the opener and didn't have a passing attempt in the Kentucky. So really, he didn't play the first 2 games. I mean, imagine if he had been the starter for all 2. If he had 2 more games of statistics, what that would look like. You might be onto something there if he had 2 more games of statistics. All right, let's do this. We're running late. Let me break because I want to come back. I'm sorry. Did you have something?
No. I was just going to point out how wrong you were last week when you were making fun of me when you said into the commercial break that we would come back for the renowned prognosticator and picker Russ Mitchell, because I went 80% against the spread in my picks.
Awesome.
Matt.
How much did you bet on those games?
I don't wager on children.
So I don't care what your opinion is if you're not actually putting real money.
I'm happy to spend money, brother. I don't spend it gambling.
Okay. Then I don't really care what your picks are if you're not wagering your own money because you have nothing behind it. I'm serious.
I wager my reputation. Go away.
All right, we got a break. Good. Then, since you won so much money last weekend, you can buy our dinner at Supper Club when you come in town.
No.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Agent225.com. Agent225.com for Darren James and Associates. Y'all check them out. Hey, listen, if you're thinking of selling your home, you need to call Darren James. I'm going to give you Darren's cell, okay? It's 335-7666. Call him right now. Text him right now. It's his actual cell number. 335-7666. 335-7666. With Darren, you're not just another client. You're a partner on that journey of selling your home or whatever this influential moment is in your life. Because if you're moving, it could be that you have a new job. It could be that you are you are maybe upsizing as your family grows, or maybe you're downsizing as you become an empty nester, or maybe, for whatever reason it might be. Whatever that reason might be, if you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. Agent225.com. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, we continue with Russ Mitchell. He's on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. All right, SEC Championship game this weekend. Georgia-Bama rematch. Saw the game earlier this year in Athens where the Tide were shut out in the second half, but managed to hang on. Why might this game be different than the first one?
Hey, I want to say one last thing about Kiffin before we jump into that question. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
I want to congratulate Verge on what a great job he did. Verge and our time at LSU overlapped. And
you went to LSU?
That's so funny. And, he's not a very loud guy. I don't know him very well, but he's pretty quiet, and I think he handled this perfectly. He doesn't raise his hand and say, "Look at me," or pat himself on the back a lot. And I think he deserves, from everybody that I've spoken to that was in and around this process, he seems to have literally nailed it. So congratulations to LSU on a great hire, and to Verge on doing such a fantastic job, landing the best coach in football, I think.
Literally nailed it?
Literally.
I mean, I don't think he literally nailed anything.
I think he literally nailed it.
I don't think so. I think you're misusing the word literally. I think there was no nail.
Don't be a word Nazi. Let's go to the SEC championship game.
I'm going to be that. You've known me long enough to know I am going to be that. Okay, yes. All right. So why might this game be different than the one in Athens back in what was that? Russ, September?
Well,
was it beginning of October? What was that?
It was a long time ago, brother. Let's hope Georgia shows up for the kickoff this time. First of all, if you remember at the beginning of the season, the first 4 or 5 games, I don't know if Georgia scored in the first quarter. They barely showed up. I had friends, Georgia football associate friends, who were like, they didn't even bother turning on their TV till the second quarter. It's like so bad. So let's hope that the team shows up at kickoff and they don't fall so far behind and have to claw back. The other thing is that if you remember in that game, Alabama ran the ball pretty well. You notice they ran the ball well against Auburn, too. Auburn had the 4th best defensive line against the run in the conference. And they ran the ball well there. They've got some injuries now, and that might impact that. But, I think that and the other thing that was really interesting in that game, if you remember, Alabama converted on like 70% of their third downs, whereas Georgia converted only 2 third downs. So Georgia had a really, really bad game, a really bad start, and still nearly won. And if you're looking at how both teams are playing right now, Gunnar Stockton is playing better. I mean, he struggled. He didn't have his best game against Tech, but it's a rivalry game. Whereas, Ty Simpson has struggled in the back half of the season, played better. Excuse me. He played better in the front half of the season and in the middle. So I think Georgia's playing better football right now. It's going to be in Atlanta. I know Alabama's got Georgia's number.
Yeah.
And I expect it to be a tight matchup. But if Georgia does the things that they've been doing well lately, lean on the ground game, lean on time of possession, force Alabama into third down and longs, which they didn't do in the first half of that game earlier in the season, and stay disciplined, I think the Bulldogs will win.
Okay. I mean, this is insane. As I look back to 2008, 1, 2, 3, Bama won 7 in a row, and they've won 10 of 11. The only exception was the 33-18 game in the championship. It's the only one Georgia's beaten Alabama. 10 of 11 is just astonishing for a program like Georgia that has been so good for so long now. So dominant at the top of the sport, and they just can't. It's like that logo lines up against them, and they can't beat the logo. It's a weird thing, man.
How far back was that? How far back were you going? Was that back to Richt?
That was 2008. So, yeah, back to Richt. 2008 would have been Saban's second year.
Saban's first year, yeah. If you recall, Saban's first year, right?
No, his first year was 07.
If you recall, Mark, who's maybe one of the greatest guys in all of football, he really struggled in that last 10-year window or that last stretch of his time at Georgia. I remember against teams, I wrote a column towards the end of his career that in the previous 20 games, right before he retired or moved on, in the previous 20 games against teams that just were over 500, he was like 5-17. Mark Richt. So he really struggled against winning teams. So, it's not just Alabama. He struggled against all winning teams. And then Kirby, it's hard to beat your older brother. And Saban was Kirby's older brother. And so it's hard to beat those teams.
Yeah. In fact, it's just fascinating, though, to look at that series for whatever the reasons, just to see it go the way that it has. So but you think Georgia wins on Saturday?
I do. I think that Alabama, if you're an Alabama fan, first of all, what are you doing in Louisiana? Second of all, go home. Second of all,
a lot of them outside of the state, though, Russ, do hate watch this show, by the way.
I know. I'm just teasing. Anyway, I love all my children the same.
No, you don't.
If you're an Alabama fan, what you want to do to win this game is be balanced. In your games where you've dominated or played well, you're balanced. You use play action to leverage Ty and help him get into a good place. Balanced run pass and the play calling, and you're effective. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they'll have an effective rushing attack. I would be shocked if Georgia doesn't come out on the opening kickoff wide awake like they've had 6 espressos. I don't see Georgia sleepwalking through the first half, and I think all of that will combine into a Georgia win in a good, exciting game.
All right, we're really short on time. Sunday they'll announce the playoff field. How many SEC teams get in? Who do you think gets in?
As long as I think Texas and Vandy are not going to go. And we can save a conversation about that for another time. As long as Alabama doesn't get blown out, I think Alabama gets to go. And so you're looking at a lot of SEC teams, brother.
So Georgia, Ole Miss, A&M, Bama, 4?
And Oklahoma.
Oh, OU, of course. Yeah, okay, so 5. Okay, 5. All right. All right, we'll be on the lookout, see how it goes. Russ Mitchell, College Football News, at Russ Mitchell CFB, if you want to give him a follow. And because he's such a great sports bettor, he's going to take all those winnings and buy our dinner at Supper Club the next time he's here. I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you.
Hey.
Yeah.
Lane State.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
It looks like Lane State. Just felt like I wanted to say.
What is going
Goodbye.
on?
My computer is talking to me. I don't know why.
What in the world is happening right now? I don't
know. It's my computer.
Regrettably, we have to go because what just happened there? Now why was that?
I think he left the chat, or either his computer self-destructed. I don't know.
We need a meme, Russ Mitchell. You need to turn that into a GIF. We need a GIF. Your meme, Russ Mitchell. All right, it's AFR. Jimmy next. Otterlock, stay here.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark in the Renaissance, the Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, Watermark Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, the Renaissance right there, Southtown Baton Rouge, a gorgeous spot to have all of your events, any event that you have coming up, from a board meeting for 12 people. Their grand ballroom can host 500 people. So if you have a fundraiser, maybe you have a school event coming up, maybe it's an awards banquet. My goodness, Renaissance Baton Rouge is just the perfect place. They can manipulate their space to accommodate whatever event that you may have. I told you when we launched LouisianaSports.net, we had our launch party right there in that space between Tallulah and their terrace, which is their outdoor patio. So there was this indoor-outdoor flow of the event. They had the portable bars that came, so the bartenders were there for everybody. It was outstanding. So no matter what event you may have coming up, remember Renaissance Baton Rouge. It's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Always love telling you about Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Getting close to Christmas. Holiday time is here. Maybe you need that white elephant gift, the perfect bottle of wine, that bottle of whiskey. Maybe you got to bring something to that holiday party. Grab and go, great desserts, if it's that floral arrangement, or you're just doing your grocery shopping, whatever it may be. Rouse's has got you covered. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, points in between. The Coca-Cola truck's going to be there at Rouse's. Get all the info at their Facebook page or at Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home. All right, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matt?
Oh, man, another day. Winding it down, man. How are you?
Good, man. Good. Another good slate. We, small loser last night. We had the right thought that the ACC was going to get the best of the SEC last night. 6 out of the 9 they won, but we didn't get the right ones. And Kentucky is still without a quality win. They cannot get it done. Let's get to some more SEC and ACC matchups. Before we do that, let's start in the Big Ten conference play. Indiana is like LSU. Indiana does not have a quad 1 or quad 2 game yet. They are undefeated. They're number 11 NET right now. But going on the road at Minnesota, I think the 8.5 is a little bit too much here. We're going to take the Gophers at home at the Barn plus 8.5 against Indiana. Going to the ACC-SEC matchup, we've got 3 ACC teams tonight, all underdogs. SMU going to Nashville to take on Vandy. Vandy 10.5, Andy Enfield. Fine coach for, of course, Florida Gulf Coast, USC, and now he's back at SMU. We're going to take the Ponies plus 10.5.
Up to 11.5, by the way, right now at DraftKings.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Very good. Let's get it. Don't be a moron. Bet more on it. Let's get after it. So the Willie Wade's crew going to Auburn, Alabama, and he and Bruce Pearl shared an attorney through their troubles, and so the Bruce Pearl actually advised him to take him. But anyway, NC State, we're going to take the Wolfpack plus 6.5. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch on TV tonight, taking Will Wade and the Wolfpack plus 6.5. And then Virginia going to Austin. It's a short line here, plus 2.5. We're going to take the Cavaliers in the points at Austin. So 3 ACC teams. Again, remember they won 14
1 minute remaining
last year. SEC right now, conference strength. They're the 5th rated conference, and probably the highest they can get, Matt, is about to number 3, if that's the case. So not nearly the season so far in basketball for the SEC, where they got 14 teams last year.
Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
We're at the original Walk-Ons on Burbank, just off of Nicholson. So doing our thing over at the original Walk-Ons.
Sounds good, man. We appreciate it as always. Good luck tonight.
All right, good luck.
All right, that is Jimmy Yacht. This is After Further Review. Putting a button here on a signing day episode. Thanks to Russ Mitchell. Thanks to Greg Allman, who was here. Taylor Calandro. You missed anything? AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf. Book your tee time at golf.breck.org. Golf.breck.org. All right, we're going to get out of here. Be back for Thursday edition of AFR Muse Polly. Thanks. Y'all have an awesome night. See you tomorrow 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. Say it every day. New and certified pre-owned. So yes, you want a brand new vehicle, great time to do that as we approach the end of the year. Take advantage of those year-end specials. Sign and drives going on. 0 down, 0 to it. Signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Sign your name, drive away in a brand new Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen, but also certified pre-owned. Tell you all the time, my buddy Mr. Kerry Manuel, who's the pre-owned manager over at South Point, incredible pre-owned selection. Extended warranties, great selection, not just Volkswagens. You know, South Point moves so many new vehicles that people come, they trade in their old vehicles. So when you talk about their used car selection, it's an amazing inventory, not just of Volkswagens, but of all different makes and models. Check them out right now at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Airline just north of Highland, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?